In a League of Their Own podcast is brought to you by Smooth My Balls. Are you sick of snagging your nuts or cutting yourself with a generic Bic razor or generic clipper? Well, now you don't have to worry. Smooth My Balls offers a 5-star below-the-belt care for men, starting with the Turf Chopper 3.0, the next level razor that provides a very smooth and clean finish with no cuts on your sack. And coming in for the closer, you got the Pube Muncher 1.0, a compact mini vac that cleans up the job with no hair left behind. Head over to smoothmyballs.com today and use code LEAGUE at checkout for 15% off your top-of-the-line men's grooming kit. Again, that's LEAGUE, LEAGUE, for 15% off. Smooth My Balls, shave like a pro.
Rep Sports. Rep Sports is a leading supplement and nutrition company that provides everything from pre-workout and protein to recovery supplements. If you're looking for a healthy pick-me-up, Rep also offers Raise Energy, a zero-sugar drink that helps with workout and recovery, mental focus as well. Head over to repsports.com today and use code LEAGUE for 15% off your order. That's LEAGUE for 15% off.
Golf kicks. Tired of wearing the same old boring golf shoes? Not the most comfortable? Now you don't have to worry. Customize all types of shoes, from Crocs to flip-flops, sneakers to boat shoes, and wear them in style while you rip it up on the course. Head over to golfkicks.com and use code OWN20 at checkout to get a 20% discount on your order. That's OWN20. Screw your shoes.
Streamer Loot. Want to rep the best up-and-coming sports podcast? Of course you do. Head over to streamerloot.co today and check out our first line of merch. We have t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, and stickers. Again, that is streamerloot.co to check out our merch. Hey, everybody. It is Thursday, May 20th, 2021. Corey Kluber gives the league's 6th no-hitter of the season, and LeBron hits a dagger to give the Lakers the 7th seed in the playoffs.
There goes that man's jockstrap. Oh my God, did you see that?
America's team? Yeah, right.
Oh, baby, it's a big day in sports. There's nothing like battling it out with your teammates all season long to go win a championship.
Green Bay's got it this year.
Huge move for him. I think it's going to be a game changer.
We have a lot to talk about this busy week in the sports world. Welcome to the In a League of Their Own podcast.
All right, guys, again, welcome. It is Thursday. We actually got a couple NFL things for you today. I guess throwing things over to you for what's going on in the football world.
Yeah, so basically the main thing that's happened in the football world is Tim Tebow has signed an official contract today with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He will participate in off-season workouts here, trying to make a spot on the actual squad. So that's kind of like the big news right now, all hurling around in Florida. And then you want to share the other news? Otherwise, I could just rattle that off too.
The AB, you can you can mention it.
And then just the other major news in the NFL, also in the state of Florida, Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Antonio Brown needs to complete and pass a physical before he's able to officially sign that one-year contract. So that's kind of the main points right now in the NFL. One other thing I could mention really quick, I believe next Monday or Tuesday, Aaron Rodgers will be appearing on ESPN. One of his favorite commentators, guys who's been on there, I forgot his name, but it's his last go round on SportsCenter. This is like his sign off for retiring, and Rodgers is a huge fan of him, so he's going to be on the show. And then one other thing that I did see too, people track his plane, I guess. People found how to track his plane, and he's in Hawaii, just chilling right now. People also, there was rumors somebody in Denver, podcast. It was like the DNVR podcast. Some lady said that Rodgers and Elway met at a golf course and were golfing together out there. Turns out that's not true. They were at the same course. Tee times were spread apart, and if they would have ran into each other, it would have been maybe a couple times along the way, and not golfing together. Because Pat McAfee brought that up. AJ Hawk was like, "Well, that's tampering. because obviously you can't do that being an owner of a team, and you can't be hanging out with a quarterback from a different team. And so, yeah, so everything's good there, and can't wait to hear from Aaron on either Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, hopefully he kind of comes out about the whole thing. He hasn't it's all been through his sources, alleged sources, not even confirmed stuff. He hasn't come out and said anything about the whole thing yet. But at the same time, Aaron's a guy who keeps to himself. He doesn't owe anybody anything to come out and say what's happening. He can, it should happen all behind closed doors, and nothing should get blown out of proportion. But unfortunately, when he doesn't come out and give his own statement, the media is just going to keep rattling off lies to get clicks until he comes out and says something. So and next week, he might not even say anything about it. He might completely divert the questions and say, I'm here for this analyst or whoever is retiring or whatever, and that's it. So, I mean, like I said, he's been one of those guys who keeps to himself, and he just puts his head down, plays football, and that's all you can ask for out of him. But I guess one other quarterback-related thing I saw that came up here just a little bit ago was the Houston Texans signed their 5th quarterback. Jeff Driscoll, for those who remember him, he was the guy who stepped in for Jared Goff when he dislocated or broke his thumb or whatever last year, right at the end of the year. I think he won him a game or two right at the end of the year.
He got him into the playoffs. He got him into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to start against Green Bay.
Goff decided he wanted to come back. Yeah.
I think he got hurt. I think actually the dude got hurt.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Like the first play. It was like one of the first plays of the game. He got hurt, so Goff had to come in.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. So the Texans currently have 5 quarterbacks on their roster: Watson, Tyrod Taylor, Davis Mills, Ryan Finley, and then Jeff Driscoll now. So obviously they're preparing. I mean, you don't have 5 quarterbacks on your roster unless you're expecting one of them to leave. Obviously Davis Mills and Ryan Finley are the 2 odd ones out of the group. I have no idea who those guys are, but I mean, otherwise, if you got Jeff Driscoll, Deshaun Watson, Tyrod Taylor, that's a decent quarterback room. But yeah, just a couple NFL things to throw out there today. I guess over to the NBA here. Some great games last night. The Grizzlies topped the Spurs 100-96, and then obviously the game of the night, the Lakers beating the Warriors 103-100. For those who didn't watch the game, 58 seconds to go, 1.2 seconds on the clock, broken play, ball kicks out to LeBron, 4 or 5 feet behind the arc, drains it.
30-footer it was.
30-footer. Drains it and gives them the lead. Warriors had a couple opportunities. Obviously, 58 seconds left. They had 2 more opportunities to go down and score, but they shut down Curry, didn't even give him a look at the basket. And that was all she wrote with that. Supposedly, or a couple plays before that, LeBron was going up for a dunk. Draymond Green went up to block it, poked him in the eye. LeBron fashion, he's rolling around on the ground. And then after the fact said that he saw three rims and just aimed for the middle one. And so I don't know if he's just being dramatic there or if he actually, I mean, I'm sure his vision wasn't 100% from getting poked in the eye, but you never know with LeBron. He always likes to make a scene out of stuff like that. So, but yeah, with the Grizzlies beating the Spurs, they will play the Warriors tomorrow night for the 8th seed in the West to see who plays the Jazz. And then tonight, Pacers and Wizards kick off to see who gets to play the mighty Nets in the first round. So still 2 more games before the playoffs kick off on Sunday. I don't know. Tonight's going to be interesting. I know we kind of wrote the Pacers off a couple nights back when they played the Hornets, and then they beat the Hornets by like 30. Who do you like winning the game tonight?
Wizards. I'm going to say Russ. He had a bad game last game. I'm saying he ain't going to have another bad game, and they're going to win.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. And there's like some memes and like circulations of like you have a triple-double season and then you let the Pacers beat you kind of thing. So I think he's kind of got that extra added pressure and that little chip on his shoulder going into tonight's game to make sure that they at least get a playoff berth. Again, they're going to be playing the Nets, and they don't match up well. Really, Westbrook versus Kyrie would be the only good matchup. And then after that, nobody's really even close as far as the rest of that roster goes. So, if the Wizards can win a game in that series, good for them. But I could definitely see the Nets sweeping that. But then the game for tomorrow, Grizzlies Warriors. Curry went on his big run to end the year. Obviously looks great. He's in the MVP conversation. But NBA analysts aren't quick to jump on the Warriors train, and a lot of them having the Grizzlies knocking out the Warriors, and the Warriors not making the playoffs at all. What do you think about that matchup tomorrow?
I originally was on that side, but after I slept on it, I think Golden State's going to win. They're one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now. Obviously, they just lost to the Lakers, who was the second hottest team in the NBA at that time. I think they both were on like 7 and 6 game winning streaks to close out the season. Like, one bad loss to a hot team, I don't feel like that should discourage them too much. I really think that they're going to come out, they're going to win. And yeah, I mean, it's sad to say, but the Jazz and the Suns both are getting no love from anyone, thinking that they're going to go through. I think they're the first two number 1 and 2 seeds ever to not be favored to get out of the West.
Yeah, I saw that as well. That's crazy that, the Lakers are good, but the Suns have been, what's that?
Clippers are the favorite.
Well, no, I'm just saying for who the Lakers play. The Lakers are playing the Suns in the first round. The Lakers have been inconsistent, obviously, with LeBron and AD missing some time, but the Suns have been full strength and playing consistent basketball. So I don't know why they're going to be the underdog, especially with home court advantage, where if they get out to a 2-0 lead over the Lakers at home, like, yeah, it's going to be tough to go into LA and win some games, but if they can go in and at least win one, then they got home court advantage where they got to win one of the last 3 with 2 of them at home. So I don't know. I still like the Suns coming out of that one. Obviously, I think the Lakers and Suns will be a really good matchup. That'll probably be the matchup to watch in the first round. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why everybody's jumping on the Lakers to win that series right off the bat, but LeBron is back as well, so you never know. There's a point I was going to mention. I completely forgot. Oh, with the Warriors and Grizzlies tomorrow. Yeah, I agree, or kind of agree with what you said about the Warriors winning. They lost by 3 last night. Which is obviously only a 1 possession game. Had a bad third quarter. Ended up having 19 total turnovers, 14 in the second half. So you eliminate 2 of those turnovers and put them in the basket, you win that game. So that's just a matter of how close that game was. I think Curry went off and had like 36 points. So obviously he carried his weight, but yeah, I don't know. Obviously the Grizzlies got Ja Morant, who's one of the best up and coming guards in the league, but I take Curry over Morant any day of the week right now. So I definitely like the Warriors in that one as well. Any more NBA things or points?
No.
All right. I got a couple NCAA points. One thing with the SEC, they are sending $23 million to all 14 of their schools for virus losses over the past year or two. So I guess it's a use it however you want it kind of thing. I'm sure it's going to go into lost wages for obviously these venues being closed, not selling tickets. So I'm sure it's going to go directly into these athletic programs to give these coaches and all that their pay and whatnot. But I don't know. Obviously it's good that they're dishing out this kind of money, but it's like that 23 million could have kept the NCAA going for some of these schools a year ago. So, but I don't know if it was a government thing that they got this money from, or if they're just sitting on this money and waiting to dish it out at the right time. But 14 times 23 million, that's a lot of money to just say, all right, here you go, do what you want with it.
Yeah, but think of how much money college football makes. That's probably 10% So that's dimes in a bucket for them of how much
Yeah.
they're giving back to these universities.
For sure. And then the other NCAA thing I had, again, sticking with football, the Northwestern Wildcats and Nebraska Cornhuskers are going to open their 2022 season, so not this season, but next season, in Ireland. Nebraska and Illinois were slated to have it last year. I can't remember what it was called. Something Irish football classic. It was supposed to be in Dublin last year. Obviously, COVID pushed that back. For whatever reason, Illinois dropped out of it, and Northwestern took their spot. So that'd be kind of cool to see college football kicking off their season in Ireland.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, because they have their stadium classics like every couple of years. Lambeau will have a game for the Badgers, or like you see like college football teams like go into NFL venues for a classic. Right. But yeah, I've never heard of like an international game. So yeah, this is definitely cool. And yeah, but it's over a year out. It says 2022, but yeah, I'll jump into the MLB here for a handful of things. Corey Kluber delivers the 6th no-hitter of the season. Just one night after Turnbull from the Tigers had his. Again, the MLB just keeps racking up these records with the no-hitters this year. The most no-hitters through the month of May, and again, May is still 11 days left in May, so there could be another one, especially since there was 2 back-to-back no-hitters just this week. Nonetheless, on Kluber's bobblehead night, so that was pretty cool to see as well. Fernando Tatis Jr. went 4 for 4 last night in a 3-0 win over the Rockies. He had a single, 2 doubles, and a home run, so he was a triple shy away from hitting the cycle. Padres have been really hot, have now won 6 straight in 9 of their last 10. On the flip side of that, the Brewers, they fall to the Royals last night 6-4, drop below 500. They're now sitting 21-22. They have an off night today, and then I believe go over to Cincinnati for their weekend series against the Reds. The Brewers are a half game back right now from the Cubs at 3rd in the NL Central. And last night, just want to throw this out there, Yelich and Kane combined to go 0 for 7 at the plate last night. So kind of your 2 power hitters are struggling at the plate right now. Yelich he's not back in left field yet. They're just using him as a designated hitter right now.
Right field. Doesn't he play right field?
Left field.
He moved to left?
He's been left this whole time. I shouldn't say that. He started in right like early on with the Brewers, but because that right field was
left field was Braun.
Yeah, and after Braun left, Yelich took Braun's spot.
Did he retire?
No, he's just didn't get either. He got like called down or didn't get re-signed. One of the two. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, it was funny. A couple weeks ago, I was thinking about that. I was like, wait, fucking Braun's not playing. And I looked at it a little bit, and I can't. It was something along those lines of like they didn't sign him to the roster this year or whatever. But I don't think he retired. Because I mean, if he retired, I feel like I definitely would have saw that, and I'm sure the Brewers would have had something for him on that. But yeah, Brewers are. I mean, they put up 4 runs last night, but obviously when your 2 power hitters can't get on base. Well, I shouldn't say can't get on base. I think Yelich had 3 walks, but still. Yeah, hopefully they can figure it out soon. Obviously being a half game back from the Cubs now, and I think 4 games back now from the Cardinals. So 8 games with half games being kind of going up or down half a game for the MLB. I don't know. Obviously it's good to see them in their slump this time of year versus after the All-Star break, but at the same time, you don't want to go on a slump for too long while other teams get hot, because then you fall behind and can't catch up. And then the last point for the MLB here is the White Sox still hot. They won their series against the Twins yesterday, and they go to New York for a weekend series against the Yankees. So that should be a really good American League Conference battle over there. Obviously, both they're not in the same conference, but about the same record and both playing really good baseball right now. So that should be a fun series to watch.
Did you see La Russa shit talk that one of his young guys that fucking hit that home run on a 3-0 count?
No, I don't think I saw that.
Dude, it was not yesterday, but the day before. It was a 3-0 count. Dude tossed like a 40-mile-per-hour fucking lob ball. Dude just fucking smacked it like 500 yards for a home run. Obviously, it was a home run.
Mhm.
After the game, LaRussa's like, what a stupid play. I can't believe he did that. Yada, yada, yada. Respect to the game. All this type of shit. And it's just like, dude, the game's changing, man.
Mhm.
Like, and then just like, he's fucking 76 or 77 years old and he's coaching 20-year-old. That's 2 generations difference almost. Like, I get the respect for the baseball type shit, but like, come on, man. Times have changed.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see the home run.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely didn't see that, but it's crazy to see these super old guys, and then you got like Fernando Tatis Jr. He's 22 years old, so he's
Did the splits yesterday.
yeah, he's got the. It looks so painful, but he gets up and just like obviously those guys got to be limber.
I bet they do that every day.
Oh yeah, well, because they realize with stealing bases or just getting on base, they gotta do that kind of stuff to get on.
That's the next thing we're gonna see. Guys sliding split style going into the bags with their arms out.
But yeah, yeah, that's all I had for baseball, and then some good hockey games last night. You want to jump into those for us?
Yeah, great games last night. Boston and Washington ended up going double overtime, and unfortunate mishap, just a brain fart by the goaltender and defenseman Schultz on the Washington Capitals end on the puck being dumped in. And yeah, I guess just a lackluster effort by the defenseman, poor communication on the goalie's end as well. And Boston wanted it more. They just hustled, got the puck, tucked it in the net, and it's as simple as that in the playoffs. Any shot's a great shot, and it was the ice, the way that the game was going at that moment in time. The ice was heavily tilted. It was hard for Washington to get the puck out of the zone. Like they were under pressure hardcore in overtime, and it was just a matter of time before there was a mishap like that or the goalie just didn't save one or whatnot. But it sucks to see it end that way because who knows how many more overtimes it potentially could have went. But yeah, I mean, way to go, Boston. That was my pick to get out of round 1 for that series. So I'm glad they're up 2-0 or 2-1. Then you had Carolina last night. Ass-handed whooped Nashville 3-0. Like I said, that series is going to be a quick 4-0 or 4-1. Nashville just doesn't have what it takes. Granted, I know the atmosphere playing in Carolina is absolutely insane. Nashville's the same way. So if that crowd can create some energy for Nashville, who knows if they can squeak 1 or 2 out. This is their chance, taking the home ice here tonight or tomorrow, I should say, and seeing if they can get back in the series. Because if you go down 3-0, that's very, very, very tough to come back from, especially in this day and age in hockey. Then Winnipeg Edmonton kicked off last night. McDavid takes the ice. He was held to 0 shots through the first basically whole game. I think he ended the game with 1 shot, I believe, which came with like a minute or 2 left in the game. Winnipeg seemed like they came up with a strategy to stop them. I know Connor Hellebuck stood on his head quite a bit for Winnipeg. But, yeah, I think Edmonton's going to have to figure something out. They're going to have to figure out a different part of their game instead of just giving it to McDavid or Draisaitl and expecting them to do it all. 2 guys can't get it done for you, especially in the playoffs here. You look at all these teams that are winning. they're getting production from their third and fourth line guys, which is what it takes. Everybody's got to chip in and do their part. Goalie's got to be able to stop some pucks. That's what you got to be able to do to win the game. And then another series that's going to be over really quick. Colorado down St. Louis last night, 6-3. Nazem Kadri, member of the St. Louis Blues, or Colorado Avalanche, excuse me, fucking head checked a guy on the Blues, one of the top defensemen, Justin Falk. He did the same thing last year when he was in Toronto. He got suspended for the rest of the series. Who knows what the suspension is going to be this time? I also am predicting a fine to be assessed to the St. Louis Blues as well. They chirped the NHL saying how he should be suspended. So it's kind of like the New York Rangers deal. They chirped the league. The league's going to slap them on the wrist saying, hey, you can't do that. So I'm expecting the St. Louis Blues to get fined probably $250,000, which is about the same. And then, I don't know, I can see anywhere from a 2 to maybe a 7 and a $5,000 to $10,000 fine. It was for the people who play like the old school hockey players like myself who grew up like in that physical style where it's different now. It was a borderline hit, but you still can't shoulder to the head. Whether or not you're doing it on purpose or not, you still can't have your main point of contact with the head. And that's what happened. He took a shot, and on his follow through, whether it was intentional or not, he fully shouldered him right to the jaw. And that's a concussion. That's who knows what other types of like damage that caused to Justin Falk there on that play. And you just can't have that. I know the league's like trying to step in and stop all that stuff. It's like, you can by just assessing the penalty and the fine to everybody, whether they do it on purpose or not. That shouldn't matter, like intentional or not, because even on a high sticking, you're skating down the ice and you're waving your stick around, you accidentally hit somebody in the face. That's a high sticking, whether you did it on purpose or not. The only time that it's not is if you're shooting, and when you're on the follow through, it's coming up and hitting them. That's the only time it's not, which obviously you're shooting the puck. I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the NHL does here. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, Kadri, I don't think he's scored any goals or gotten any assists for the Avalanche so far in their 2 games. Nathan McKinnon so far is on the pace to run away with the Conn Smythe, which is the MVP of the playoffs. Yeah, just way too much. Colorado's got way too much power. They look like the favorite right now to win the Stanley Cup. Tampa's even looks surprisingly really good. It's going to be interesting to see what Florida can do tonight. And then I'll jump into tonight's game really quick here. Florida plays Tampa, 6:30 USA. Tampa's up 2-0, and they have the home ice tonight. Pittsburgh heads into Long Island. They take on the Islanders at 7 on NBCSN. Montreal plays Toronto. This is Joe Thornton's 191st playoff game. There was a video that came out. He was skating around on the ice, and he was next to one of the rookies it was his first playoff game. And they were sitting there, and it was cool. It was like Joe playing in 191, this kid playing in his very first. It's like, holy shit, that's so many years difference.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, man. But yeah. They get underway at 7:30. Big news that's been talked about. I was watching the Boston game last night, and they were talking about Cole Caulfield being scratched game 1 by Montreal. Kasperi Kakaniemi, a center as well. He's also scratched, and the other young kid who's very good. People are questioning the coach's calls here. Why is he doing this now? Especially a lot of Habs fans are pissed. Caulfield scored 2 game winners against Toronto. You're playing against Toronto. Like, why wouldn't you have this kid in the lineup? He's got an assist as well against the team, but some people are expecting he's going with the heavier set lineup for tonight to try to get a physical game in and wear them down game 1, to where he's going to bring in those speed guys for later in the series that are just going to be able to skate right around him, which if it works out, great for you, great plan. But I think that's going to be really tough to do against the Leafs team who can play physical and has the superstars. on the team as well. Then the last game tonight, Vegas, Minnesota, tied 1-1. Hockey is back in the state of hockey. It's kicking off at the XL Energy Center tonight. Barney should be rocking there. I can only imagine how pumped the Minnesota Wild fans are this year, that they have a great team and they really could potentially win the Stanley Cup. I mean, them, Vegas, Colorado, which is tough that all three of those teams end up being in the same division, but all three of those teams looking like the dark horse to come out of the West, out of the West.
Have the Stahl brothers ever played each other in the playoffs?
Oh yeah. All three of them actually have been in the playoffs together. And then there is a fourth one that could potentially be in the NHL in like a year or two. Yeah, one played for the Rangers. He was a defenseman. His name's Mark Stahl. Then there's Jordan Stahl, who plays for, he's the one on Carolina. And then Eric Stahl, who's on
Minnesota.
Excuse me. Jordan's on Minnesota.
No, Eric is on Minnesota.
Yeah, Jordan's the oldest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Carolina. Yeah, and then I forgot what the other one is. But it's funny, all the Stahl brothers, they actually had a content piece probably like 10 years ago, I want to say, on YouTube. All of them went golfing on the same course, and they were all like fucking around, having competitions with each other, like who hits it farthest to the or closest to the pin. Whoever didn't, there's like a huge hill they had to slide head first down this in nice ass fucking clothes, just grass slide head first down this huge hill. And then they went this thing, how they practiced shooting pucks growing up as a kid, is their parents had a barn. They would line it up with all these antiques, and they'd call out one, fucking snap it and just shatter it. And they'd play like horse, but it was shooting pucks. Like, oh, call out which one you got to hit. Boom. If you don't, let her. Stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, the Stahl brothers, fuck, they've been around for forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then that's all I got for hockey. And then my last point for today here is PGA. They got underway at the Kauai Ocean Course today. Purse of $11 million. I do believe that the final round has just wrapped up here, the first round. And you have a four-way tie for first. We got Kevin Bradley, Brooks Koepka, and Collin Morikawa all tied at -3. It says 3 of those guys are through 17, so they could potentially get a birdie. You got Ricky Fowler sitting currently in 8th.
Where's Rory? He had the best odds, the favorite odds to win it.
Rory. Oh. I know a lot of people did. Oh, fuck. Okay. Just kidding. Round's not even close to being over. People are about to tee off. Like, John Rahm's just teeing off right now.
Oh, yeah, he was another one. I think he had like the second best odds to win. I'm assuming Rory hasn't teed off then.
No, the last tee time for today is 1:42. Why? I must have just missed his name.
42. Oh, it's like 15 minutes. Unless Rory
+3.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, people, I was watching a little bit of it, dude. Wind conditions are nuts today, dude. People are putting the ball in the water a lot. Like 3 unders. I mean, that's not that crazy good. Like, obviously that's good, but like when the conditions are like that, that's like shooting like 8 to 10 under.
Yeah.
On a normal day.
Plus it's the first round. Usually I feel like it's pretty tight and nobody runs away with it in the first round usually.
Well, your first 2 rounds are your easiest pins. So your easiest hole locations are your first 2 rounds, and then it gets the most difficult is Sunday. So your chances to shoot better are the beginning rounds, but obviously it depends on the weather. And they have a fuck ton of wind right now. I think we're saying like 25 mile per hour wind gusts. It's like over 200 feet. That's moving your ball probably 50 yards.
Yeah.
From left to right.
Like they say, swing easy when it's breezy.
Swing easy all the time.
Yeah.
Unless you're Bryson DeChambeau. When you're trying to fucking take a shit every time you hit the ball.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's all I got for today.
Yeah, I didn't have anything else to add. Yeah, so we won't be having an episode tomorrow. That kind of seems like our theme. We don't have Friday episodes, not because we don't want to, but because we always got something going on. But I'm actually moving this weekend, so hopefully we'll get back on Monday for an episode. Obviously, so long as I get all my stuff set up and have the internet, I should be able to give you guys an episode. Otherwise, maybe I'll run it off a hotspot. That probably gives enough juice to at least do a Zoom call. So yeah,
Figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But otherwise, yeah, we'll be back next week. Again, PGA champion is going to get crowned this weekend. NBA playoffs kick off Sunday.
I thought they kicked off Saturday. I thought the Bucks play on Saturday.
No, it's on Sunday. At least that's all what all the commercials say. NBA playoffs starting Sunday. NBA.
Yeah, Saturday, 1:00.
Oh yeah, look at that. Well, the
Clippers, Mavericks, Celtics, Nets, and Trailblazers and Nuggets.
Okay. Oh, is that the East though? Or no, there's some West.
Yeah, 2-2.
Okay. Huh. Oh, that's why. All the games Saturday are ESPN and ABC. TNT is Sunday. That's all the commercials I've been seeing is TNT kicks off on Sunday. So that makes sense. But yeah, anyway, playoff basketball starts this weekend. We might have some hockey series wrapped up by Monday as well to break down. Yeah, a lot of sports this weekend. So if the weather is not nice by you, you got some sports to watch, I guess. But yeah, anyway, everybody have a great weekend. Austin, if you want to sign us off.
Yeah. There's some breaking news here. I just want to get out here before we do wrap up here. Diego Maradona, for those of you who don't know, he was a soccer player that ended up dying at the age of 60 from a heart failure. He was a fucking superstar soccer player over in Europe. Turns out he was murdered by two nurses, a nurse coordinator, a doctor, and a psychologist. They all planned together to pull off a murder and kill this guy. Yeah.
What, like inject them with something?
They all are facing up to 25 years in prison. 8 to 25 years. Let me just
8 to 25 years for killing a guy. That's pretty. They're letting him off easy. But also, if it's a different country, I guess they have different rules.
He was under the influence of psychotropic drugs. So they were like keeping him like loopy, and he died of buildup of fluid in his lungs. So the homicide with eventual intent is what they're charged with. Like, so either they didn't care for the guy and just let him die, or they helped kill the guy. Either way, super famous soccer guy just got put out at the age of 60. So that's pretty nuts, especially the medical professional. You know what I mean? Like, who knows how often that happens? It's just scary.
I'm sure it happens more often than you think, because this is a ex-famous soccer player. I'm sure it happens to
Joe Schmo down the block.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's like intent, or I'm sure neglect happens a lot. Like
especially in like old folks' homes.
Yeah. Oh shit! I haven't checked up on Susie in a couple of days. Like, I'm sure that kind of shit happens all the time.
Yeah, it's not funny as that is, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by today. I know it was a little bit shorter show than normal. Like you said, we're in a little bit of a lull here. Playoffs, and we're not going to literally recap all the games for you because that'd be boring for you guys to sit there and listen to us just jibber jab and talk about stats. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, everyone. You can give us a like, follow, subscribe, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere on the internet. You can search In a League of Their Own podcast. You can also check out some of our merch on our link in our Instagram handle. In our bio section, we have the link to our merchandise there. If you feel like decking yourself out in some merch,
otherwise it's in the description on all of our videos too. There we go.
And yeah, excited to see these playoffs kind of wrap up here and see who gets to win some of this free merch. I'm excited. Hopefully, it's myself winning some of that free merch. But
I know it's not going to be me.
As long as Sidney Crosby doesn't let me down, we'll be all right. Because they're supposed to be getting Malkin back for tonight. He was supposed to be back last time, but he's skating and he was only doing power play stuff last time. And today there's reports that he's taking actual skates with his line and shit. So we'll see what happens there. And then, oh my God, I'm such a stooge. One of the biggest fucking news in hockey that I forgot to mention. Former U.S. women's national hockey team captain, Megan Duggan. She's named the New Jersey Devils manager of player development. They're signing her to that role. I think this is a great move. She's one of the greatest United States-born hockey players that's played for the United States team. And she clearly knows how to play hockey. She knows what it takes to be successful and what it takes to get your body in shape to do it, because she's clearly done it herself. Granted, it's a little bit different, men against men and women against women, but it's still the same fundamentals now that it's turning more to a skill game. For those of you that remember when we had Chase Drake on, he even said that the women's game is a little bit more fast and more skilled. That's because it's true. And that's kind of what the NHL is turning into, trying to get to that same speed and skill level just with the physicality part of it. So I feel like she's going to help a lot of young guys, maybe even a couple of veterans tailor their game a little bit. And that's awesome that she's getting a role there in the NHL.
Yeah, no, it's definitely awesome. With obviously women getting involved in any professional sports at any level with coaching. Yeah, obviously great move. I mean, sounds like she obviously, like you said, knows what she's going to be getting into, and great move for that team and great move for the league overall.
Yeah, I think that's happening in every league right now. The Bills signed Sophia Lewin the other day as an offensive assistant. What was it? A couple of days that we were talking off the air that we probably should have mentioned on the air. That one chick who used to work for the Vikings is one of the top people, I think, in Denver now. So it's the NFL is promoting to hiring women right now, which is awesome. I feel like being a woman and you loving sports, I feel like there should be no reason why you can't get involved in the industry and be able to do what you love to do. Just like the guys are able to do, whether that's a guy wanting to get involved in women's soccer to help out. That same precedent for guys being able to go as easily into women's sports and coach, and for women to come into men's sports and coach, it's not the same. I feel like it's starting to maybe potentially get to that same point with, hey, if you're a great candidate for a job, it doesn't matter if you're a male, female, he, she, whatever you want to be called. It doesn't matter whatever it is. You can fucking do the job, and you're here to do the job. And that's it.
Yeah, brain is a brain. Doesn't matter who it's in. If you're
exactly
smart, if you got the knowledge, you should be out there.
These are all just meat suits anyway.
Yeah, meat suits. Oh fuck! I don't think I've ever heard that before. I'm gonna go. Oh, did you wash your meat suit today?
Well, our brains power our meat vehicles.
Yeah, I guess when you break it down like that, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, again, thanks everybody for stopping in today. We'll see you next week. Everybody have a great weekend. See you later.
Peace.